Alright, in today's video I'm going to show you how to automate the process of responding to a client request for the information he or she needs to put together and provide in advance of your client meeting. We're going to use the program Text Expander, which just recently released a beta for Windows PC, which is great news for those of us who use Macs at home and use Windows at the office. You can now put your expanders together in your Mac or iOS device and then have those synchronize over to Windows. Again, this is in a beta test, so for now it has worked great for me. I haven't seen any issues with that, with the one caveat that you have to create the text expansion snippet on your iOS device or your PC or your Mac before it'll sync to the PC. There's no way to create one on the PC at this point, although you could do that through their website, I believe. I'm still testing this out, as I've used Text Expander for a long time on my iOS and Mac, and so I really focus on using it there, but the ability now to sync over to Windows is nice. So check that out. Today we're going to work on what I call just a client checklist, and what I've done is just build a response that could be either a letter or an email to that client. And what I generally do is just kind of have a nice checklist for myself as I go through these documents, so I don't have to think about it too much. So let me show you the finished result, and then I'll go back through and show you each of the elements. What you can do with these text expansion programs is basically take a list of information and have a shortcut key, as you can see here under the abbreviation box, to type out that information, saving yourself time and effort putting things together over and over again. So when you use repetitive things, it's good to see if you can automate those, write them once and use them and modify them as appropriate later. So if I type in XLCLCI, I get a little pop-up box that is my predefined snippet. Again, like my checklist here is I can just type in the client name, we'll call him John for today, and I have an option here to use some of the advanced features of Text Expander. We'll just use the estate plan example for today, but as things go on, you can choose different types of cases and have a different selection of text down here pop into your communication. So you can see that we have some instructions up here, and then I have what's called an optional selection here. So I could uncheck the estate plan. It goes red, that won't show up. We want to use that one today, so I'm going to click that. When it's green, that means that's the one I'm using. This has all of the information that I need, and I come down here and hit OK. And just like that, my email is ready to go with Dear John and all the information. I can scroll down to the end and put my information, my signature information in, and send that out. So very quick and easy to use. Once I have this text put together in my intake forms or my checklists for my law firm, I just copy and paste it into my Text Expander tool of choice. Various options available for you there, and hopefully that's helpful. Now, just to create that, it's very simple. You would click over here, click on a new snippet. It would come up and ask you to fill in the label and the abbreviation that you want to use. You often want to use some sort of unique identifier key, and a lot of folks recommend using X, which works out pretty well because you don't type that too frequently. And then I try to kind of keep a consistent naming convention, so as I'm using them I don't have to think too much about it. But X is my trigger, I call it, and then L stands for law, and then checklist is CL, and then the type of checklist, which is case information, for CI. So you don't have to be that complicated about it, but as you play with it, it gets a little bit easier, and the more checklists that you get, the easier it is, or more abbreviations that you get, the easier it is to have some sort of consistent naming to remember which ones you do. You can search for them as well as you use them. But this one, you can see that there's this special coding in here. Text Expander makes it very easy to do this type of coding, where you can come in and define what kind of field it is and use that particular field throughout your Text Expander snippet. Here you can see I referenced a whole nother snippet that has all my case types in it, and then here is our optional selection that shows us the estate plan, and eventually will show all the other types of practice areas that I have with the information for those practice areas. So I hope that helps. Hope that will help you get more done with your point one.